Hey everyone. So, a few nights ago, I was scrolling through Reddit, just wasting time before bed, when I found this post that stopped me cold. It was about something people call a skinwalker. If you don't know, that's a creature from Native American folklore. They say it can mimic voices, take the shape of animals, even people. The kind of thing that walks like it remembers being human, but isn't anymore. Now, I've read a lot of stories online, but this one got under my skin, especially because it went about something in the woods. It was about what happens when it follows you home. So, turn your lights off, put your headphones in, and listen closely. Because after this story, you might never look at your pets the same way again. I live in a small house out in the country, quiet place, the kind where the nights feel heavy and still, and every sound carries through the walls. Out there, you learn to notice things. You learn what's normal and what isn't. I never thought much about it until the animals started acting strange. It began with my cats, Bear and Bit. Bear is the shy one. She hides under furniture, slipping out only when the house feels calm. Bit is the opposite, playful, loud, always near me. If I sit down, he's in my lap. If I go to bed, he's beside me before I can pull up the blanket. One night, something changed. It was almost midnight. I was lying on the floor scrolling through my phone when I heard soft scratching sound under my bed. Just a gentle scrape across the carpet. Bear, I whispered. A small meow answered me. That familiar sound made me smile. I rolled over and reached under the bed. My fingers brushed against warm fur, then my dad's voice came from the kitchen. "Hey, Bear's under the table," he said. I froze. I pulled my hand back and looked toward the doorway. There she was, sitting beneath the kitchen table, staring straight at me. Her eyes reflected the dim, yellow light from above like tiny mirrors, but the scratching under my bed didn't stop. It grew louder. I turned on the lamp beside me and leaned down again, my heart pounding. The space under my bed was pitch black, too dark for the light to reach. But I heard breathing, soft, wet breathing, like something pretending to be alive. I whispered, "Dad, come here." He walked in a moment later, confused. "What is it?" "Listen," I said. But when he stepped inside, the sound stopped, dead silent. The air in the room felt heavy, still but tense. He sighed. "It's probably Bit. You know how they hide?" Then he walked away. But I looked under the bed again anyway. Nothing, just the dark, staring back. The next few days were quiet, or at least, I tried to pretend they were. Then one afternoon, I came home from school. The house was empty. Dad was out running errands. When I walked into my room, I accidentally kicked something soft under a blanket on the floor. It shifted slightly like something sleeping underneath. "Sorry, Bit," I muttered automatically, but when I looked at my bed, my stomach dropped. Bit was there, curled up, asleep, purring. I slowly turned my head back toward the floor. The blanket was still moving. I reached down, trembling, and pulled it away. Nothing. Just a dent in the carpet where something had been lying a second earlier. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every little sound felt amplified. The creaks, the hum of the fridge, the ticking clock, and from under the bed, I heard it again. That slow, dragging breath. Sometimes it came with a faint sound, a low purring that didn't sound like either of my cats. Too deep, too wet. The real nightmare happened 2 nights later. It was raining, heavy, pounding rain that made the whole house hum. I was in bed scrolling through my phone again when Bit jumped off and disappeared under the bed. I called him, but he didn't come back out. After a few minutes, I heard him purring, except it wasn't quite right. The rhythm was off, uneven, like someone trying to imitate the sound of a cat. I leaned down to look. 2 eyes stared back at me, wide, glassy, reflecting the light from my phone. "Bit?" I whispered. The eyes didn't blink. Then the head moved, jerky, like a puppet. The neck bent sideways. too far. A loud pop echoed from beneath the bed, and I swear I saw its mouth stretch open. I jumped back so hard I hit the wall. The phone fell from my hand. When the light hit the bed skirt again, the eyes were gone. I looked up and Bit was sitting on my pillow, staring down at me, calm, still, like nothing had happened. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, my dad noticed how pale I looked. He joked that I'd been watching too many horror movies. But when I told him what I saw, his expression changed. He said something strange. "I saw a cat outside this morning," he said. "Looked just like Bit. Black and white. Same markings, but it was out by the woods." I frowned. "Bit's been inside all night." He nodded slowly. "Yeah, I know. That's what's weird." A week later, Bit died. He got hit by a car down the road. My dad buried him near the tree line under the old oak behind the house. I cried harder than I'd ever cried before. He'd been my comfort through everything, and now he was gone. For days, the house felt hollow. Even Bear seemed quieter. No more strange noises, no more shadows, just silence. I thought maybe somehow it was over, but the peace didn't last. One night, I went outside to clear my head. It was cool and still. The moon was full, glowing pale silver across the yard. I sat on the porch steps with a blanket and my coffee, just staring into the trees. Then I saw movement near the edge of the woods, something low moving between the trunks. At first, I thought it was a raccoon or a fox, but then it stepped out into the open. My heart froze. It was a cat, black and white, same markings, same tail, same walk. It was Bit. I whispered his name without thinking. "Bit." He stopped, lifted his head, and turned toward me. The way it moved wasn't natural. Its body twisted too slow, too smooth, like it didn't have bones. When it faced me, I saw its eyes. They weren't right. Too wide, too human. And then it smiled. Not a cat's grin. Something else. Something that didn't belong on an animal. The corners of its mouth pulled upward, stretching skin that shouldn't stretch. I dropped my cup. It shattered against the porch. The sound broke whatever that thing was pretending to be, because it crawled fast. Not like a cat, not like anything that should exist. I ran inside and slammed the door, locked every window, pulled the curtains shut. Outside, I heard scratching. Not on the door, on the walls. Like it was circling the house, dragging its claws across the siding. Bear was hiding under the couch, shaking. I could hear her low growls, the kind cats make when they're terrified. The scratching stopped. For a long time, everything was silent. Then one single sound. A soft meow. Right outside my bedroom window. The meow came again. Louder. Longer. Then a voice whispered, just low enough to hear. "Let me in." It wasn't a cat's voice, it was a person's. A broken, whispering imitation, like someone learning to speak for the first time. I stayed awake until the sun came up. When I finally looked outside, there were paw prints on the windowsill, but they didn't look right. Each one ended in something sharp, almost like fingers. Since that night, Bear hasn't been the same. She won't sleep near my bed anymore. Sometimes she sits at the window, staring into the trees, her tail puffed and her body trembling. And sometimes late at night, I hear it again. A soft, uneven purring under the bed, followed by breathing, slow, patient, almost human. I don't look anymore, because whatever's under there knows I'm awake. And I think that's what it wants.